What's going on YouTube? Pistol Pete here. This time with another budget friendly pocket knife. Like most of my reviews and one of my favorite companies, it's a Cold Steel. So today I'm bringing you the Bush Ranger Lite. So they do make a fancier one of these with, I believe, S35 VN and G10 handles. We'll see about that. But first, let's go over the specs on this one. So, let you guys look at it real quick. This one here is 5.2 ounces. This one's 8CR13 MOV. The blade length is 3.5 inches long, and overall length is 8 3/8. Handle is 4 7/8. And blade thickness is 3.8. So, you know what? It's not a bad knife. It's not a bad knife. This is the cheaper side. Again, this is the lower end. I wouldn't say the lowest, but it's one of the lower ends of the Cold Steel. This one here is about under 30 bucks, about 25 bucks, $25 to $30, depending where you buy it. The steel's okay. You know, I don't mind, like I said, because Cold Steel does a great heat treat. So the 8CR13 MOV is not bad. It's not bad, you know, on this one here. But I can see a few quality differences between this and when you go up just $15, $20 more. You know, obviously the really expensive ones, when you get to the, you know, $150 to $200 range or above, then, you know, you can really see the quality difference. But this one here, it's not bad. It's not bad. For the price, it's a nice knife. It's a really nice knife. Like most Cold Steels, it came, you know, sharp out of the box. I do like the look of the blade. I do like that big, heavy swoop on the clip point there. You know, it's pretty awesome. I do like that a lot. You know, it's a nice knife. You know, it is a nice knife. But just something about it is just, as far as I feel of it, it feels a little cheap. I could admit that it feels a little cheap. It holds the hand okay. It feels okay in the hand. Has a little spot here for you know, to hold on to. This one does not come with a triad lock. This one here is just a regular basic lock. But it does have this extra lock here for you push it up, just like they have on the Luzone and the other, which are the liner lock style. They have one after the Luzone. There's like an extra lock here, but you know, some people argue that, you know, it's not needed because of this here. But I guess just for an extra peace of mind to have that, it's not that bad. It doesn't bother me. Either way, it doesn't really bother me. It's not a, oh man, that's so great they have that, or it's not a, damn, why'd they put that in there? To me, it's just whatever, right? It's an extra lock. Makes you feel a little better, you know, whatever you have it up. That's okay when you're swinging at and stuff. Feel safer. You know, it is a strong lockup. Even though it's not triad, it's still a strong, I mean, this thing still clicks into place really, really well. You know, it's not, this one here is not that smooth of an action. I mean, you know, if I try my hardest, I can't flick that open. I mean, now if I push hard and slide it, I can slide it open with one finger, but it's not a flip open. It's not a flick open. I mean, if I do it really hard, I can get it in the downward position, you know, but yeah, you know, it's a little stiff. You know, I mean, there's things, just like I said, in all steel, you know, Cold Steel and all folders, there's things you do to make it a little bit smoother action. You know, obviously you can oil this up. You can back out the pivot screw a little bit. Some people take them completely apart and polish all the insides, which I don't, I'm not going to do all that, you know, with my folder, but you can. That's up to you on that point, how extensive you want to try to make this smoother. But for me, it's whatever. You know, I like a nice smooth knife, but you know, to me, it's not that big a deal. You know, to manually open, it's not that bad. And then obviously to drop it. That's something I noticed too, that on this one, that most Cold Steels, not all but most, I would say probably 98% of the Cold Steels out there, the folders that is, when you close, if you put your finger high up on the guard somewhere on here, and when you close it, you can close it and not have to worry about cutting your finger. So you can keep your finger up high like this, and you push the lock bar to drop the blade. On typical Cold Steels, it stops. Like this portion here will stop. We've noticed here, it really doesn't have it. So if you're to drop this, and I always learned the hard way because I was gonna do it and it wouldn't drop, and I wouldn't notice. I was like, you know what, I better check first. I better lower it down slowly on my finger to see where it stops. And thank God I did when I tried that, because check it out. If you keep your finger up even high, it's the blade still hits your finger. Even if you put your finger up here, if you could see that, I can get in there and you guys can see that, but it's still, the blade goes all the way back to almost to where it drops. And most cold stills right there, you're hitting the non-part, the choil part of the blade here. So, you know, that's why I noticed too. So I was like, man, once I did that, I was like, hey, thank God I didn't close it. Good thing the action wasn't really smooth, because I was going to try to do it. I ended up pushing the button and doing this, and it wouldn't go down. So I went like that to grab it. Well, let me just test. And I went like this, and I was like, oh man, if I was to really drop that would have sliced right on my finger and sliced it. So this one here isn't that one-handed operation, you know. Or I guess you could, but you'd have to. I mean, even that, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. You can go like that and let it drop a little bit, and you move your finger and then close it. But yeah, I mean, you got to be careful with this one. Not a one-handed drop, and again, not easy opening. So I'd use two hands to open it. And this one here, it's a little bulky in the pocket. It feels a little bulky. The handle's not bad. It's not bad. It feels like a cheaper plastic, you know. I know it's probably like glass-filled nile, or, you know, let me see. Does it even call? I don't think it calls out the material here. It just says GFN handle. So probably a fancy word of saying, you know, oh, that's glass-filled nylon. Yeah, so it feels like cheap plastic to me, you know. It doesn't, fancy way of saying plastic, right? But for some reason, it feels cheap. That's all I have to say. I mean, plain and simple, it feels kind of cheap to me. Wait till that ambulance goes by. And, you know, and I don't know, I mean, I know they make the fancier version maybe a little better, because I do like, but you know what's funny? The fancier version blade is a little different. It doesn't have that super high sweep clip point. It's more of like a little bit more shallow. And I like the look of the blade. I like it, but just the material and everything else. And again, I don't have no gripe with the blade material really. But I mean, this for $10 more to get the SR1 Lite compared to the Bushranger Lite, all day on the SR1. I mean, the fit and finish, and even the blade material, everything about it, even the shape of it, the SR1 is a beast. I love that one. And this one is just, again, not bad, but not wow. Another thing about this lock is if you lock it in the while it's closed, if you lock it up while it's closed here, you can't open the blade. It locks it in position. So, I mean, you can kind of pull it up enough where you can see the blade come out a little bit, but you can't open it. So, I mean, I guess if you have little kids, little kids shouldn't be even getting near these anyways, but I guess if you did, it'd be hard for them to, if you had that locked up, it'd be hard for it to open it. But even that, I mean, and this thing is an opening in your pocket, so, you know, it's not really necessary, I guess, for that, to lock it in place for that. I mean, it's not going to open in your pocket any which way. I mean, this thing is solid. I mean, even with it not locked, it's, you know, it doesn't really come out. So, yeah, like I said, not one of my favorites, but again, good price point. It's for $30, it's good. I'd recommend it for 30. I'll write a piece of paper out. We'll test it out and see if see the edge, see how sharp it is. When I was pulled out of the box, it was shaving my hair, but not great, not like the SR1 Lite or all the rest of the cold steel. So it's still sharp. It's not sharp, but it's not razor. Well, I mean, right there, it's looking pretty good. Yeah, it's sharp. It is sharp. Yeah, it just feels like, I don't know, something about it. It just feels like a little bit more rough. But yet, when I slicing this paper like butter, and it was shaving hair, but it just wasn't as smooth feeling, I guess, on my arm when I was shaving it compared to the other cold stills I have. But yeah, I mean, it's sharp. It's sharp. It'll do the job. And like I said, one thing I'll have to give these budget blades like these, you're going to use these, right? You're not going to be worried about scratching it. You're not going to be worried about it going dull because you could throw a sharp edge on it again. You lose it or break it, cheap enough to go buy another one right away if you like it, you know. And again, for me, if I lost this, I'd probably buy myself another SR1 for backup before this. But Not a bad knife. Not a bad knife by any means. It's a good knife. It's just not one of my favorites. And like I said, it feels a little cheaper. This, like I said, this polymer handle feels like cheap plastic. But you know, still not bad. You know, cold steel, still cold steel. You know, I'm glad I got it for the collection. It's good to have. I'm gonna keep it in there. But again, not my favorite. All right, YouTube, please like and subscribe. And until next knife.